All right, thanks for that, Francis. Now, here to discuss real quick what we call a rapid-fire session on this postponement is Gatundu South Member of Parliament, Moses Kuria. Mheshimiwa, welcome. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Jeff.
As always.
Yeah.
So the question is, essentially, why are you opposed to the bill?
I'm opposed to the bill because over the last 6-7 years, since 2013, we have had this bill going through what I would call the pilot phase. And that pilot phase was in the county assemblies. You know, what we are trying to achieve now within the National Assembly and the Senate is something that has been tested within the county assemblies, because the law that creates the county assemblies is very clear about the two-third rule. Yeah. So give it the benefit of the doubt, assume it's a good thing, and assume that what's happening within the county assemblies has been the pilot run about what would happen within national assemblies and the Senate. Yeah. What do we have now in the county assemblies? 1,450 members are elected directly by the people as MCAs. Because of this requirement, we end up nominating another 1,000 MCAs. So we have got 1,450 MCAs who are voted for by the people, another 1,000 nominated. I'm the member for Gatundu South. I hear that I have got 4 nominated MCAs. I've got 4 elected in my constituency. And I hear there are 4 other nominated. I only know 1, and I'm the member of parliament. I've never seen 3. I've never found them in a baraza. I've never found them when I'm doing my work. So where is the value for money for the people of Gatundu South by these people we nominated? Then I ask myself, is that what we want now to transplant? You know, if it's working, we would say, if it's working, don't fix it.
So let me ask you this. You were part of the constitution writing process in 2010, right?
Yes, I was.
Why didn't you oppose it then?
Because we were creating this thing as an aspiration. And even progressively what has happened, since Willy Mutunga, they said it's supposed to be progressive, it's supposed to be an aspiration. So there could be a problem of interpretation. But I do not believe, because I was there throughout, the 2010 process, constitution making process, that the intention of the framers of this constitution intended it to be interpreted in the strict sense that people are saying. And I really want to have that day in Supreme Court. I really hope someone goes to Supreme Court asking for the dissolution of Parliament. And I want to see Supreme Court make a distinction between an aspiration and a provision. Yeah. So I believe that the framers of the Constitution said it is a nice thing to have. In a Sunday morning, it would be nice to have that gender parity. But
in reality?
But practically they never intended it, and it will never be. But even if in the unlikely event that was what was intended, it does not mean that if we made a mistake, that we must punish this country for it. You know, in the book of Mark, second book of Mark, 27 to 28, Jesus, no less, not me, or not Jeff Koinange, says that the law was made for man and not man for the law. That's why I'm anchoring my argument on, because here is something which is really has not made any sense, really. Right. And I think there's so many things we are regretting now about where we put ourselves in. You know very well. There's some things which we said, if we knew by that time, we wouldn't have done this. If you're in a hole, stop digging. If you made mistakes, don't make other mistakes now. For whatever reason, for whatever it's worth. Yeah, we are regretting so many things we did in 2010. In 2018, do you want to continue making more mistakes that we are going to regret in the future? Count me out. My next question you kind of touched on is the dissolution of Parliament. Would you be prepared for that? If they say that we dissolve Parliament, I will be prepared to go back to the ballot, because what is easier? Inconveniencing me for one time, or putting this country under the yokes of the high burden of cost of living forever. Let me go to the ballot and tell my people, we are here so that we can live a better life, if not for us, for our children. Yeah. Look, Majority Leader Aden Duale postponed this to maybe what, February, right? Oh, maybe. That is the biggest drama. I pity you Kenyans. That was the biggest drama. It was a fail. We had 210 members in that parliament, so it was short. Some people stayed out to see if there's going to be, voting, and I was monitoring all the time. was really, I tried to convince members, one, don't get into that chamber, and if you do get to that chamber, vote against it. Can I tell you, if this vote was put to question, 37 members would have voted yes, including women.
37?
37. Because these are politicians, they listen to the grassroots. I am listening a lot to the grassroots. I am talking to women. Yeah. From West Pokot to Turkana, I'm talking to a lot of women in the grassroots.
So let me ask you real quick. If it's been postponed to February, will it be any different then?
It was just nice PR. It was nice PR. It was a withdrawal of the whole thing. Yeah. It has no legs. It's heading nowhere. I think Duale was just being magnanimous to the women. You know? Yeah. The whole thing is not going anywhere. And I have talked to even a lot of women privately, women who have, staked it out against men. I'm talking about the Honorable Sophia Abdi, who had to fight against men in Ijara constituency, which is, an area which does not vote for women. I'm talking about the Honorable Alice Wahome. And I'm not just taking away everything. I'm coming up with a recommendation.
What's the alternative?
The alternative is let's use political parties to progressively empower women. We are used to that era whereby women are only supported by NGOs. Let us make government the biggest NGO in terms of supporting women. This year, if we follow the law strictly, we are supposed to give 5 billion shillings to the political parties. We have got ACPO, the ACPO rules, which says 30% must go to the women, the youth, and persons living with disability. Can we do the same with the political parties fund? 30% of that, close to 1.5 billion shillings, to be given to women, youth, and persons with disability. So if they say that men hire goons, at least hire your own. God forbid. I'm not saying it's good to have goons, right. But that's the reason they decide that men have got more money, they can afford this and that. Yes. So let's use other mechanisms. Yeah. In the US Congress, 20 years ago, they had 13% of the Congress were women. Now they have made massive strides progressively. Now it's 22%.
Correct.
Kenya, we are at 26%, and we want to do affirmative action. America has not done it. There are only 22% of women in the Congress, including our very own Ilhan from Dadaab.
Minnesota, yes.
Yeah? If Ilhan was in Kenya, she would be asking for affirmative action. But she knew there was not that option in Minnesota. Yeah. So she had to stick it out there.
Mheshimiwa, before I let you go, I have to let you listen to this soundbite which you made, I think it was yesterday, or today. Was it yesterday?
Well, over the weekend.
Over the weekend. Yeah. Let's take a listen to that.
Hakuna siku tunakaa chini kuongea bei ya viazi. Hakuna siku tunakaa chini kuongea bei ya mchele wetu hapa Mwea. Hakuna siku tunakaa chini kuongea mambo ya mboga ambayo tunakuza. Kama hatukai chini kuongea mambo ya kitoweo, kwa nini tukae chini kuongea mambo ya bei ya ugali? Kuna haki gani hapo? Ati hapana, kabla serikali iweke hiyo bei, tukakaa chini tusikizane. Sisi tutaitwa wapi? Tuongee mambo ya kitoweo. Hapana, ambia watu wamekuwa too much. Na tumeanza kukasirika.
Mheshimiwa, I'm going to be asking you what exactly you meant by that in a quick moment. But first, take a look at this story coming up now.